You have this light that is shining from you, and the power of your desire has it pitched in a particular way. Your readiness to receive what you're asking for shows up too. And so these are just not random picks. You get what we're talking about? Yeah.
Hi.
And it's not because of your beautiful face.
I need to relax for a second.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went to the nature place around here, and I felt so calm and peaceful because of all of this amazing scenery. And
Yeah.
I felt connected.
Conditions that are conducive to alignment, yes.
Yeah, totally.
Not a bad thing to seek that out.
Yeah.
No. Just don't need it for alignment. Like it when you find it, but don't require it.
That's the thing, and that's why I'm for the last year I'm living near the nature, and I'm feeling like so complete. And
you won't for long though, and we don't mean that any environment doesn't have the capacity to keep fulfilling you, but you really are expanding rapidly. And what we want for you is that all environments are open for you, because all of them contain pieces of what you're looking for.
That's the thing. It's hard for me to reach, to tap this feeling, specifically about relationships, to feel this feeling that I can tap in when I'm alone. But some part of me wants to be in a relationship throughout all my life. And when I meet this amazing person like I have in my life right now, most of the time I'm feeling choked, feeling suffocated, and I want to run away. I want to go back to the nature, go to be on myself.
The thing is, you're looking at the nature in a broader way. There are things in that beautiful park that if you look with scrutiny, with detail, you might find unpleasant also. When you're standing back and looking at the overview, you can always find pleasing things. What we're suggesting to you, and it's a little stretch, but play along with us for a little bit. You can step far enough back from any object of attention to focus specifically on the parts that will allow you alignment.
Can you repeat it?
If you are in an airplane at 30 or 40,000 feet, 500 or 600 miles an hour going across the sky, and you look out your window down at what's below, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
But if you put that same airplane on the ground at that speed, not so peaceful. Or even just on the ground wherever you might be. The premise that we're laying out here is that as you step back into a more general point of view, you find that peacefulness that you're looking for, that lack of trouble, that lack of pieces that don't feel good to you. We're submitting that if you take that concept and you see any person or any moment in time, any conversation as like that landscape where you can step back far enough from it to find that connection, which is that peaceful feeling of satisfaction or contentment, is what it feels like when you're focused in a way that you're not introducing any resistance. So describe to us, let's see if we can speed this along just a little bit. So describe to us a situation where in the relationship you want to run away. What happened? Why doesn't it feel like the garden's outside here?
When she introducing love and appreciation.
When
she appreciate me and love when I how can I say it?
You want to run away because you feel suffocated? Why do you want to run away? Just put yourself back into some situation where you felt that way and try to explain it to us a little bit. Is it because you can't control the environment of that relationship? And so your connection...
I'm feeling vulnerable.
Because your connection feels risky, because in being a complement to this partnership, in being a what is the word that you use when you want to get along with others?
Surrender.
Compromising or
Surrender.
And so what it is calibrating to a person instead of calibrating first to your inner being. We promise you that when you're in alignment with your inner being, you don't feel suffocated and you don't feel like you want to run away because you have understanding. And a person can be having a moment not in alignment. You see, most people are looking for a relationship because they want the relationship to make them feel better, which puts all of the responsibility for alignment on the other person. Well, when you give somebody else the responsibility for something that only you can do for yourself, they're not going to get it, for sure. They're not going to get it. They weren't born to be your guidance system. They weren't born to cater to your desires. You were.
I'm going to leave it lost here. Okay. It's, in my perspective, it's coming from my youth, the way I saw my parents behave to each other, the mindset they had, and even my grandparents.
All right, so
and that's what I inherited.
So we talked about that earlier, but the thing is, you saw it.
Yeah.
You offer a vibration like it because you observed it.
Yeah.
You thought it, and then you believed it, and then you expect it. So that's some pretty solid trending, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your point of attraction is based upon not what you want. You see, when you saw your parents, you put something else in the vortex. When they weren't nice to each other, you put something different in your vortex. You put, I want partnerships that are nice. When there wasn't enough money, you put more money into your vibrational reality. Everything that you watched that you don't want in a relationship caused you to put what you do want in your vortex. And it has been in the process of coming, the cooperative components gathering. But if your expectation based upon what you used to live is still dominant, then you won't let in what you've created that you deserve, that you are worthy of. And so by us explaining to you that it is there and convincing you that you could feel better, but you have to not think about your parents and not think about your grandparents and not even think about an argument that you might have had the other day. What you've got to think about is how you feel right now, which means you might have to take your mind off of the idea of a relationship altogether. You might have to go to the park. When you're in the park and feeling good, you're allowing the relationship that you want. Abraham, I thought I had to think about the relationship that I want in order to get the relationship that I want. No, you just have to stop thinking about the relationship that you don't want in order to let the relationship in that you want. So you can distract yourself through all kinds of lovely things that oftentimes are easier, and the relationship that you want will come to you if you can maintain that long enough. Most people look back at the relationship and then they pick it up right where they left off. You tell those old family stories, or remember, Esther still remembers the day that her father threw a rock through the window of the chicken coop. It was a family tale. And he only was like that maybe once in her whole childhood, but it's the story everybody tells. Remember when Daddy was so mad he threw a rock through the chicken coop window? Humans are weird, you know, you're weird. And it's mostly because you think that you have to work hard to get what you want. You think you have to figure out what went wrong and fix it. And this is all that you have to do. Stop doing that thing you do that is holding what you want away from you. And how do you know when you're doing that thing that you do that holds what you want away from you? You don't feel good. So when you don't feel good, what's a good plan of action? Do anything that you can think of that will make you feel better. But Abraham, that doesn't seem very responsible. Seems like I should figure out what the problem is, and maybe we should go to a counselor. Maybe I should go to a therapist. Maybe we should get to the bottom. We say, there's no bottom. There's no bottom. If you're looking for what's wrong so that you can fix it, it just gets wronger and wronger and wronger and wronger and wronger. There's no bottom. You got to look somewhere else to get something else. And we don't mean another person or another relationship. We mean to another facet of this multifaceted relationship or person that is right before you, because the potential for everything you want is right there. And the only threat that you feel threatened is because you don't trust your ability to focus. And the reason you don't trust your ability to focus is because you're like almost every other human. You're observing rather than thinking. You're observing rather than thinking. That's why the world changes slowly. Everybody's observing. Most everybody's observing and therefore regurgitating and therefore getting more of what they don't want and then commenting on that. But a percentage of you, you're getting this figured out. You're understanding that you can feel differently because you can focus differently. You know why we know that? We're going to end on this powerful statement or concept or sentiment. It might be a few sentences. We know this because at the same time that you're feeling vulnerable, was that the word you used? Your inner being is feeling intoxicated with your life. At the same time you're feeling uncertain, your inner being is sure of everything that you've created. Your inner being knows it to be reality because your inner being is there in that vibrational reality. So there's no doubt, there's no lack, there's no fear, there's just knowing. So when you feel negative emotion, that tells you your inner being knows something that you don't know. Maybe you want to try to figure out what your inner being knows. And you know what? It always is. When you feel pain, your inner being is always feeling well-being. When you feel poor, your inner being is always feeling prosperous. When you feel confused, your inner being is always feeling clarity. When you feel hate, your inner being is always feeling love. In fact, if your inner being did not feel so much love, you could not even feel hate. That's not a word that applies to you very well, but we're talking about humans in general. Does that make sense to you? Can you understand that? It is that relationship to who you really are that is the basis of everything that you're feeling all the time.